what's up, man? This is Eric. I'm calling you back. We're live.
Awesome. This is Matt, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, dude.
So I got two questions for you today.
Go for it.
Um, One, just very general. What is the best way to make money in sports cards in this industry?
Yep. Okay. And okay, so you want to do
And
one
then
one?
this,
Go for both
yeah,
questions.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go for both
I'll hit you
questions.
with the second
Yeah, go for
question.
it.
The second question is, what is your best approach to make money at sports card events and going into an event? And what strategies do you have to making money during those card shows?
Yeah, good question. So, so usually when people ask me questions, I always respond with the same thing. What's your goal? Like, give me a little bit breakdown of your life. Like, where do you live? How old are you? What's your goal?
Sure, no problem. My name is Matt. I'm 26, and my goal is to make money. Last year, I did 20K sales in eBay, kind of just selling
Nice.
everything. I got into sports cars at Fanatics Fest. When I found out that I could sell the hobby box to a vendor and make 200 cash, I'm like, hey, right there. And then ended up getting my hands on another box, and I ended
Yep.
up pulling $1,500 worth of value. And I'm like, hey. And then
Nice.
that
Nice.
that that one lucky box got me, addicted to the hobby. So now I have a collection over about 10K.
Nice.
And I've sold some. I made some money. Pulled some great one-on-one Gunnar Henderson cards, stuff like that, right? But I'm kind of just trying to figure out um, what is the best way to move forward. I understand buying boxes and hoping for big pulls isn't the way to go. I've spent my money doing that. So now I go to card shows and try to look for cards that are in good condition that I can grade, hope for that PSA 10. But I'm just looking for some more consistency in in uh, in being able to flip stuff and kind of have a strategy that way.
Yep. So, do you watch my content or not much?
I
Okay.
do. Well, occasionally I do watch your content.
Okay. And so, do you have a budget of at least a few grand to spend?
I can make that happen. I mean, it's definitely tight. Wife, two kids, so
Yeah. Oh
it's
man,
tight. But if I,
you're starting young. I'm 27. I just got a girlfriend for the first time in 10 years. You're married with kids at
yeah, man.
26. Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Well, then what I would say, okay, let's pretend. I'm gonna pretend you have $1,000 to spend, but also
Okay.
you said you have a collection of 10 grand, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
okay, and your goal, give me a number. Like, is your goal to make 2K a month, 3K a month profit?
I don't have an exact goal, honestly. I just like some consistency and having a plan like that.
Okay. I'm gonna pretend your goal is 2 grand profit a month. That's a nice starting goal. So, one, like, if we're talking to strictly make money, like, this is the bottom line goal, to strictly make money with sports cards. The first thing I would do, whatever you have in your collection, I would sell to get cash because,
Okay.
and I'm assuming a lot of that stuff is modern cards.
Yeah, mostly modern. See, when I first got started with my collection, I pulled the Mookie Betts Helix card. So that made me want to go and collect a set. So currently, I'm halfway through collecting that set. And that's just kind of another thing. I have my personal collection and those
Yeah.
cards, and then I have the cards that hey, I want to sell.
Yep.
But it's like I just got a Patrick Mahomes rookie card graded, came back at 10. I bought
Nice.
that card $50, and then now that's a $300 card. Okay, that's something I might want to hold on to for my kid and his future later on because Mahomes,
Okay.
I know his value is most likely going to stick. So it's also kind of just trying to figure that as well. Like those cards, the Otani PSA 10s, the Judges,
Yeah.
those cards. What do I
So
do? Do I sell those now to get
yeah,
cash?
yes. Okay. It's a good question. So there's multiple. I'm gonna walk you through step by step. So yes, sell whatever you have to get cash. Here's a little thing with most modern cards go down in value. Most modern guys do not perform up to expectations. But even like Patrick Mahomes, for example, who already knows kind of a goat, even if you buy his card, if you buy a card for him of his for like $500 and you hold it for years and years and it doubles in 5 years, you can do much more with that $500 today than you could just holding the card, even if it triples. Like, think about this, right? You bought a Patrick Mahomes card for
Absolutely.
$50, you got a grade, and now it's worth 300. If you did that multiple times with multiple Mahomes cards, you're doubling or tripling your money in a month or 2 months, right? So, like, holding any modern cards, especially if your goal is to make consistent money, holding any cards is not what you want to be doing. Okay, that's the first thing. So, like, literally, if I were you, if you were a student of my program and you paid me money, a coach would tell you sell everything you have, get the cash, and start buying, grading, and flipping. So, like, that's the first thing. So like get cash, right? Sell it. It's not, and like what you could
Okay.
do, what most people do, ones that come into our program, I hear what you're saying. All right, you want to piece off some money, put it into build a set, buy cards for your kid's future to hold. I get that. But first, you need the income coming in, and piece off some of the income. Buy some Mahomes rookie cards, just store them away. Collect the set. But first, you want the income coming in, so you have the extra cash to do it, right? Because if your budget's tight, you don't want to be strapped by you holding this $10,000 collection. You can do so much more with that $10,000, even if it like even if that $10,000, which is not, even if it doubled by next year and was worth 20 grand, it's still worth it for you to sell today, because you should, that 10K you could turn into like 40, 50, 60, 70K in the next year by buying, grading, and flipping, because the money is just so much more than holding. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then what I would do specifically, if you have a budget of, let's say, $1,000, the problem with sending cards to PSA is that it takes forever to get back. So like if you start buying cards, $50, $100, $200, you run it out of your budget quickly, which is why I'm telling you to sell what you have. So like what I would be doing right now in your shoes, are you watching me live right now or no?
I am, but I'm on the phone call, so
Okay. Well, anyways,
I can't.
it'll be a little delayed anyways. But what I would do, I'm gonna just show the audience, and even if you try to watch it, it's gonna be a little delayed because
Okay.
we're on the phone. It's a little bit quicker. But like I would be buying. So you want to be timing the market, right? So you want to be buying football, right? Football's cheap. It's in the off season. Buy cards, send them to PSA. It'll take about 2 months to get back to you ish, and then sell them. So like if I were you, I'd be buying cards in that like $50 to $200 range. So like especially Prism. So like for example, I'll just show you like one card that's a good example. So like the card that my students, so I've had over 3,000 students join my program at this point, and the card that students have made the most amount of money on is what I'm showing you on the screen right now, the Prism Disco, orange disco. This is just a good example of a card. This card, let's see what it sells for. It sells for like the Bo Nix sells for like $50, $60, and a PSA 10 is worth like 280 to 300. So, whoops. You want to be doing, I keep hitting my mic. You want to be doing stuff like that. Buying Prism's a great product. It's a little bit harder to grade, so you want to be looking out for the corner on the back, the bottom back, to make sure that it's good to go. But like even like that's the type of stuff you want to be doing. And then selling these cards when you get them back, and just keep flipping, keep flipping. And then as you get closer to the football season, start to move into the next sport, which would be basketball. Buy some basketball in
Absolutely.
the offseason, etc. Like that's what I'd be doing. I'd be loading up on that stuff. And that stuff, dude, it sells faster than if you bought a Bo Nix Disco, got it graded, and it's a 10, you will sell it so fast you wouldn't even know what to do with it. Like you'll sell it before it even gets back from grading. Like that's the type of stuff I would be doing. And that is the type of stuff that'll change your life, right? Because like you want to get into sports cards to make money to change your life, right? Give you more money for mortgage, vacation for your kids, whatever. And that's the way to do it. By holding, you're not making any money.
Absolutely. Now, when these cards are, we're buying these cards coming in, right? Now, what percentage of these cards that we're getting in are even worth sending to grade? Because I know, obviously, I've heard your content. We do the coin flip. It comes back as a 9. You're breaking even. Comes
Yep.
back at 10. Obviously, we're profiting, right? But now, where are you getting these inventory from? eBay, let's say eBay, and then we're getting those cards in. Okay, it has damage on it. Now we know it's a little dimple. It's not going to get a 10. Then what do you do with that? Are we returning it?
No, no, don't return it. You're gonna piss people off, and you're gonna don't return it. So you have a few options. So what part of the country do you live in?
New York area.
Oh, nice. I used to live in Long Island for 3 years. Um, I'm from New Jersey, but so you want to. So okay, so the main place I bought sports cards. The main place I bought sports cards in my life is eBay. eBay is where I bought most of the cards to get graded, and then most of the cards, like when I go to card shows, I buy cards that are already graded, like higher and stuff. And then I sell a lot of cards through Facebook groups. Like that's where I've done most of my damage. Not all of it, but like that's like, and there's no right or wrong. I have students that do everything through Twitter or X, and then I have students that do everything through Instagram. But to break it down to you, so I'll share my screen. I know you can't see it, but all right. So if you're decent, right? If you're decent, you'll be buying about 8 out of 10 cards you, well, not, if you're good, 9 out of 10, but expect about 8 out of 10 cards you buy to actually send in for grading. Okay. So like you could see this on the replay, but like let's use that Bo Nix example, right? So I'll break this math down to you. If you buy 10 Bo Nix discos at I think it was selling for like $60 each, right? That means 10 times 60, you're spending $600 on 10 cards of Bo Nix, right? And then each card is going to cost you about $25 grading cost times 10 cards, which equals 250. So your total investment, buying 10 Bo Nix cards to send in for grading, is about 850. Okay. Now, I'm not even counting. You're probably only going to send 8 out of 10 to get graded. But if you're decent, especially with Prism, if you get 50% of cards to get a 10, 50% cards, grade a PSA 10. And even if you get lower than this, you'll be able to make money. Well, we just discovered a PSA 10 is about let's call it 280, and a PSA 9. Let's see what a PSA 9 is worth. A PSA 9 of this specific card, it's worth like 90, 80, $90, something like that. Let's call it $80, right? So in other words, if you buy a Bo Nix card for $60, spend $25 to get it graded, that means you're gonna profit roughly each card that grades. Let me share this. You're gonna profit $200 each time a Bo Nix card grades a 10, and if it gets a PSA 9, after fees and stuff, you'll lose about $10. Probably about $20 actually. So like this is the game you're playing, and like the Bo Nix card sells for $280, but after fees and stuff, you'll realistically probably net like 160, call it profit. So basically, if you do what I'm saying here, right, and an investment of $850, and you get 280, or 5 cards that are going to profit you 160, and another 5 cards that are going to lose you $20. Well, let's do the math. So 5 times 160. I know I'm going really fast. I'm trying to show this to the audience too, and you can see this on the replay. So the Bo Nix cards that gave you a PSA 10, those 5 made you $800, and then the other 5 are going to lose you $100. So minus 100. So your total profit, hopefully this is making sense to everyone, is $700. So you invested $850, right? And 5 got a 10, 5 got a 9, and you ended up profiting $700. You almost doubled your total investment in a matter of 2 months. But this is just one example, right? If you keep buying cards continually, you buy like 1, 2 cards a day at like $30, $50, $80 each, you'll create this rolling stream of money that just you're consistently making money. But this is the game, right? And those are the types of cards you want to be buying, and they'll sell faster than you. You don't even know what to do with them. But that's the math behind it, and that's what I would be
Absolutely.
doing.
No, yeah. It definitely makes a lot of sense, and it makes me think about, selling off that collection that I got going on right now. Would you suggest? I mean, I heard you say Facebook Marketplace. I do a lot of sales on eBay. What do you think is better, eBay Marketplace, Facebook? I don't really have too much of a presence on. I kind of wanted to stay away from that. I've had some success selling at local car shows as well. Would you say eBay is a good route to go that way to sell off that large collection? Because I'm going to sell off this large
What's in it?
collection. What's the best way to do that?
What's in it?
Um, so I have, man, let's see.
Like,
I have the
give me the
Helix.
most expensive card in it. Just tell me the most expensive.
I have a few cars that are about $1,000. Um, about 3 to 1,000. I have anywhere from the range of 3 to 500. Got a couple Tawny tens. Got a couple Jaden Daniels in there. Um, and then I have a Gunnar Henderson 101 that I kind of wanted to hold on to for a little bit. I don't know what you suggest with the 101s, but again, those are
Yeah.
the type of cars that
Well,
I kind of
yeah.
have.
If you were paying me money, no matter what it is, I would tell you to sell it. So you have 2 options. Number 1 would be just auction them on eBay, and number 2, sell them. Or actually, the best option is selling. Do you know what a repacker is?
Yes, and I also do sell on Whatnot. I do some shows. I started off trying to sell like regular cars. It was a little tough, and then I ended up getting into pull boxes. So I'll pull about $100 card and value, and then I'll do a pull box, and then I found that to be just entertaining and fun to connect with the
Yeah.
community. So
Yep. I would try to sell those cards to a repacker. They'll give you the most amount of money. They'll
okay,
probably give you about 90% in cash. But even if you have to sell on eBay, auction them, you'll end up netting about 87%, or you could sell it to just a dealer that'll probably give you like 85%. But you don't need like if the collection's worth 10,000, you don't need exactly $10,000. Get what you could, get 8,500 to $9,000 and start putting it into like my system or like what I'm showing you here and telling you here, so you can make consistent money.
Gotcha.
Um, that's what I would do, and then like you
Awesome.
could rebuy that
Awesome.
stuff, once you're making money. But like
Absolutely.
that's what I would do, and just know younger guys. Like I'm not talking about like Mahomes and Otani, but like Gunnar Henderson. Odds are in 3 years from now, his cards will be worth way less than they are today, statistically speaking.
Absolutely.
So like holding younger
Awesome.
guys, never a good idea.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Last question that I would
Yeah, go
have,
for it.
do you do a free trial or something that I can get my feet wet in your program? Like I said, with the wife and 2 kids, it's always tough for me
Yeah,
to.
I wouldn't. Um, yeah. So our program, I'm trying. Like, I want to give you the best advice here. If
No,
you're
you're fine.
like, if your budget, like, I would not join my program unless you have like, I mean, I guess you have it. Unless you have an extra like 2 to 3K. If you have under that to spend, I would not join it. Because like I don't want you like I want people if they're gonna pay me money, I want them fast to have fast success. And fast success, you need a little bit of money. Um, we don't offer a free like trial, but there is a refund. So if you ever do you see my ads or like any of the links in the YouTube videos, it'll lead you to a video. It's a webinar. It's like 30 minutes. And then at the end, you could buy our program, and there's a 6-month refund policy as long as you buy 10 cards and get them graded. So if you buy 10 cards and get them graded, we'll send you your money back. The reason we have you do that, obviously,
Yeah,
is we want to incentivize you to take the action that makes you successful. So there's our 6-month refund policy.
gotcha. All right. Well, I don't want to take too much more time on your show. Thank you for your time, and then maybe on the back end of things, we can get in touch and talk more
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
I wouldn't. Don't go and buy it today. I honestly, and this is coming from the person that's going to make money from it. Don't buy it today. Go and sell the collection first. I'd put into action what I just told you. Make a little bit of money. Let me prove myself, and like then you could pay us money later on. I wouldn't join it today if I were you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm sorry, there's so many questions in the chat, and like I just simply don't have the time to answer them. I will like you see, I will prioritize questions if you call in. So call into the number below, and I will prioritize those questions. I promise, because people like actually hearing voice, and that instant feedback is just really, really good. But I do have to go. I do have to end this, unfortunately. Any other questions? Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We try to go live. If we change up the time, we'll email everybody. But almost every single Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we go live. If you are watching this on YouTube on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.